Be me, Patricia, 47 years old, professor of gender studies at the State University for over 15 years. Raised 2 children as a single mother after divorcing their father when he refused to acknowledge his complicity in systemic oppression. Always made sure my kids understood the reality of power dynamics in our society. Especially important that Caleb, my oldest, recognizes the inherent advantages he's been given simply by being born male. It's my responsibility as his mother to ensure he doesn't become another unconscious perpetrator of inequality. Tonight is Sunday family dinner, tradition I've maintained for years. Caleb is 18 now, about to leave for college next month. Maya is 15, much more receptive to understanding social justice concepts than her brother. She gets it. She's lived the experience of being dismissed and overlooked because of her gender, but Caleb still resists these conversations, always deflecting or changing the subject. Tonight, I'm not letting him escape another teaching moment. Spent all afternoon preparing his favorite meal, thinking about how to frame this properly. He needs to understand that his acceptance into that engineering program wasn't just merit. Statistical reality is that male applicants receive preferential treatment in STEM fields. Countless studies have documented this bias, but he refuses to acknowledge it, sits down at the dinner table looking tired from his summer job at the hardware store, starts talking about some project he's working on, completely oblivious to the broader context. Before we eat, I think we need to have an important conversation. His face immediately changes, that defensive expression I know so well. Maya looks up from her phone, sensing the shift in energy. What about Mom? Take a deep breath. This is crucial for his development as a conscious human being. Caleb, you're about to enter college, about to step into spaces of higher education where your voice will automatically carry more weight than your female peers. He's already rolling his eyes. This is exactly the problem. I need you to acknowledge the advantages you've been given, the doors that have opened for you simply because you're male. Mom, can we just eat dinner? I'm really tired. This is the issue right here, the entitlement to dismiss these conversations when they become uncomfortable. No, we can't just eat dinner. This matters, Caleb. Your comfort is not more important than confronting reality. Maya is watching now. Good. She needs to see how these dynamics play out. I want you to apologize. Apologize for what? I haven't done anything wrong. The complete lack of awareness is staggering. You need to apologize for the privilege you've carried your entire life, for the ways the system has favored you over girls like your sister. He's staring at me like I've lost my mind, but this is exactly what needs to happen. I need you to say it out loud, here at this table, with Maya as witness. This is insane, Mom. What's insane is an 18-year-old male refusing to acknowledge reality. What's insane is thinking you can just opt out of these conversations because they make you uncomfortable. Stand up from my chair. Need to make this moment as impactful as possible. Say it, Caleb. Say, I apologize for the advantages I've received as a male in this society. He's looking at Maya now, probably hoping she'll support him, but she's smart enough to understand what's happening here. Long silence, can hear the kitchen clock ticking. Finally he mutters something under his breath. I can't hear you. I apologize for the advantages I've received as a male in this society. It's a start, but his tone is completely wrong. No genuine understanding behind it. That's just the beginning, Caleb. Words without understanding are meaningless. Sit back down, need to capitalize on this moment. Starting tomorrow, I want you to write me a letter every day until you leave for college. A letter about what? About your privilege, about the specific ways being male has benefited you, about the opportunities you've had that girls don't get. Maya is nodding slightly. She understands the importance of this exercise. Mom, that's ridiculous. What's ridiculous is raising a son who refuses to examine his place in oppressive systems. What's ridiculous is sending another unconscious male into the world. Lean forward. Make sure he understands this is non-negotiable. 1 letter every day, handwritten, at least 1 full page, reflecting on your privilege and how you plan to use your advantages responsibly. He's shaking his head, but doesn't argue further. Good. Maybe he's finally starting to understand the seriousness of this. Over the next few weeks, he writes the letters, though reluctantly. Most of them are clearly just going through the motions, surface-level observations without real insight. Keeps complaining about how this is affecting his work schedule and time with friends. Typical male priority system, putting his social life above critical self-examination. Try to explain that this discomfort is exactly the point. Growth requires discomfort. But he just doesn't seem to get it. Writes increasingly shorter letters with less thought. By the time he leaves for college, still haven't seen the breakthrough I was hoping for. First few weeks he's away, Texts are brief and infrequent. When I call, conversations are awkward and strained. He claims he's busy with classes and adjusting to college life. But Friday comes and goes without him mentioning coming home for the weekend. Call him that evening. "Hey sweetie, what time should I expect you tomorrow?" "Expect me for what?" "To come home for the weekend, like we planned." Long pause on the other end. "I'm not coming home this weekend, Mom. I've got stuff to do here." Stuff to do? Like this is more important than family time. What stuff? Classes don't meet on weekends. Just friend stuff. Study groups. You know. Clearly he's prioritizing his new social circle over family obligations. Try to stay calm. Don't want to sound controlling. Okay, well, maybe next weekend then. But next weekend comes, and same excuse. And the weekend after that. By October, starting to realize he's actively avoiding coming home. When I confront him about it, he gets defensive. "I'm busy, Mom. College is different from high school." Too busy for your family? Too busy to maintain the relationships that matter? It's not that simple. But it is that simple. He's choosing to distance himself rather than continue engaging with important conversations. Maya notices too, keeps asking when Caleb is coming home. Have to keep making excuses about his busy schedule. November approaches and I bring up Thanksgiving plans. "So what time works for you to come home Wednesday, or would Tuesday be better?" "Actually, Mum, I'm staying here for Thanksgiving. Feel like the wind has been knocked out of me." "Staying where? At school?" "Some friends invited me to their family dinner. It'll be good to experience different traditions." Different traditions, like he's some kind of anthropologist studying foreign cultures. "Caleb, this is our family tradition. This is important." "I know, but I already committed." The casual way he dismisses 18 years of family Thanksgiving dinners is breathtaking. Try to negotiate, offer to adjust the menu or timing, anything to accommodate his preferences. But he's already made up his mind, claims it would be rude to back out now. Spend Thanksgiving explaining to extended family why Caleb isn't there. Maya keeps asking questions I can't answer without admitting something is seriously wrong. Tell myself it's just college adjustment. Lots of kids get caught up in new experiences. Surely he'll come home for Christmas. That's too big to miss. But early December, same conversation. "Let me guess, you're staying at school for Christmas too?" "Actually, yeah. Some of us are doing a trip to the mountains, going skiing." Skiing trip with friends he's known for 4 months versus Christmas with family. The priorities are completely backwards. "This is unacceptable, Caleb. Christmas is non-negotiable." "Why? Because you say so?" His tone has changed over these months, developed an edge that wasn't there before. "Because family comes first. Because some things are more important than your social calendar. Like daily apology letters about being male." The conversation stops. Realize he's bringing up the summer exercises. Those letters were about growth, about developing consciousness. Those letters were humiliating and weird, Mom. Humiliating because he was forced to confront uncomfortable truths. If examining your privilege felt humiliating, that says more about your resistance to growth than about the exercise itself. Or maybe it says something about forcing your 18-year-old son to write daily apologies for existing. He hangs up before I can respond. Try calling back, but goes straight to voicemail. Send several texts, but no response. This pattern continues through December. Minimal communication and complete avoidance. Christmas morning, Maya and I exchange gifts, while Caleb posts pictures from Colorado on social media. Seeing him laughing and relaxed in those photos while we sit at home with empty chairs around the dinner table. Something breaks inside me that day. Spend the week between Christmas and New Year calling him repeatedly. Voicemails get increasingly desperate, apologizing for pushing too hard, begging him to just talk to me. But the calls go unanswered. Maya starts asking direct questions about why her brother won't come home. What am I supposed to tell her? That my efforts to raise a conscious son have apparently backfired completely. Start replaying every conversation from the summer, analyzing what went wrong. The letters were necessary. He needed to understand his position in society. The dinner conversation was appropriate. Someone had to address his unconscious privilege. But somehow, instead of creating awareness, I've created distance. January brings new semester, new hope that time has given him perspective. Send care package with his favorite cookies and a carefully worded letter. Explain that all my efforts came from love, from wanting him to be a better man than the society that shaped him. No response to the package or letter. Try calling his roommate's number, pretending there's a family emergency. Caleb gets on the phone, angry and suspicious. What's the emergency, Mom? There's no emergency. I just needed to talk to you. So you lied to my roommate. The accusation in his voice cuts deep. I miss my son. I miss having a relationship with you. Maybe you should have thought about that before making every conversation about how terrible I am for being male. Terrible for being male, that's not what those conversations were about at all. I never said you were terrible, Caleb. I said you had advantages. Same thing, apparently. It's not the same thing at all. Having privilege doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you responsible. Responsible for what? For apologizing every day? For feeling guilty about things I can't control? He's completely missing the point, focusing on guilt instead of understanding. You're supposed to feel motivated to use your advantages ethically. What I felt was ashamed of existing. What I felt was like nothing I did would ever be good enough because I was born wrong. The conversation is spiraling away from what I intended. Never wanted him to feel ashamed, wanted him to feel empowered to make different choices. That's not what I meant. It doesn't matter what you meant, Mom. It matters what actually happened. Line goes quiet and realize he's hung up again. February, March, April pass with virtually no contact. Occasional brief text responses when I ask direct questions about his well-being, but no phone calls, no visits, no real communication. Maya graduates from high school and keeps asking if Caleb will be at the ceremony. Have to admit, I don't know. Haven't been able to reach him about it. She's disappointed and confused. Doesn't understand why her brother has disappeared. Try to explain about college and growing up, but she's smart enough to see through the explanations. Graduation day comes and Caleb doesn't show up. Maya tries to act like it doesn't matter, but see her scanning the audience looking for him. Afterwards, she asks directly, "Did I do something wrong? Is that why he won't come home?" Breaks my heart that she's blaming herself for her brother's choices. No, sweetie, you didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes people just need space to grow. But privately starting to wonder if I'm the one who did something wrong. Spend sleepless nights replaying every interaction, every lesson I tried to teach. Everything came from love, from wanting him to understand the world clearly. How could helping him recognize privilege be wrong? How could teaching consciousness be harmful? Spring semester ends, and summer begins with no indication he's planning to come home. Find out through his social media that he's gotten a summer internship near campus, didn't even discuss it with me, just made the decision independently. Call the university housing office pretending to be updating emergency contacts. Discover he's signed up for summer housing, apparently planning to stay away indefinitely. Finally accept that I need to drive to campus and confront this situation directly. Show up at his dorm unannounced on a Saturday morning in June. Roommate answers the door, looking confused and uncomfortable. "Is Caleb here?" Yeah, but he's... Hold on. Hear voices from inside, obviously discussing what to do. Finally, Caleb appears in the doorway, looking exhausted and annoyed. "What are you doing here, Mom?" "I need to talk to my son. I need to understand what happened to our relationship." He steps outside and closes the door behind him. Looks older somehow, more serious than when he left for college. "Our relationship? You mean the part where you made me apologize for existing?" "I never asked you to apologize for existing, Caleb. You made me stand up at dinner and apologize for being male. Then you made me write letters every day about how unfair my life advantages are." Put that way, it sounds harsher than intended. "I was trying to teach you consciousness, trying to help you understand." Understand what? That I should feel guilty about things I can't control? That every achievement is tainted because of my gender? This is not how those lessons were supposed to land. I wanted you to understand your responsibility, your obligation to use privilege ethically. What I understood is that nothing I do will ever be enough, that I'll always be inherently wrong because of how I was born. Sitting on the dormitory steps now, both of us exhausted. "That's not what I meant, sweetheart." "But that's what happened. That's what I heard every day for months." Long silence while I try to process this perspective. From my view, I was preparing him for the realities of the world. From his view, I was condemning him for circumstances beyond his control. "I love you, Caleb. Everything I did came from love." "I know you love me, Mom, but love doesn't make everything okay." Realize that tears are streaming down my face. 18 years of raising this boy, trying to do everything right. "Can we fix this? Can we try again?" He's quiet for a long time, staring at his hands. "I don't know, Mom. I really don't know." "What would it take? What do you need from me?" "I need you to understand that your way of seeing the world isn't the only way. I need you to stop trying to fix me. But the world is full of unconscious men perpetuating harmful systems. How can I not try to ensure my son, is different. I just wanted you to be better than... Better than what? Better than Dad? Better than other men? Better than myself? The question hangs in the air, unanswered. Drive home that evening with more questions than answers. Maya asks how the visit went, hopeful that maybe now things will return to normal. Don't know how to explain that normal might be gone forever. Spend the summer reading everything I can about parenting adult children, articles about helicopter parenting and ideological rigidity and family estrangement. For the first time, start questioning whether my approach was as helpful as I believed. Academic literature about consciousness raising often focuses on willing participants. Never considered what happens when the participant is your child who can't consent to the process. Send Caleb a long email in August, apologizing for pushing too hard. Explain that my intentions were good, but acknowledge that impact matters more than intentions. Ask for another chance to have a relationship based on mutual respect rather than constant education. He responds briefly, "Thanks for the email. I need more time." More time, but at least he responded. Maya starts college in the fall, and the house feels impossibly empty. Both my children gone, one by natural progression and one by choice. Second Thanksgiving approaches with growing dread. Text Caleb asking if there's any chance he'd consider coming home. Response comes 3 days later, "Not this year." Christmas preparations feel hollow and forced. Maya comes home but constantly asks when Caleb might visit. Have to admit I don't know that our relationship is still strained. She's angry at both of us for letting this continue, for choosing principles over family. Can't you just agree to disagree? Can't you just be normal around each other? If only it were that simple. If only I could separate my beliefs about society from my relationship with my son. But how do you ignore what you know to be true about the world? How do you raise children without teaching them what you believe matters? January brings a surprise phone call from Caleb. Heart races when I see his name on the caller ID. "Hi, Mom." "Caleb, how are you?" "How's school?" "School's good. I'm calling because I've been thinking about what you said last summer." Afraid to speak, afraid to break whatever fragile thing is happening. "I understand that you were trying to help me. I understand that you believe in what you were teaching." Careful, measured words like he's rehearsed at this conversation. "But I need you to understand that the way you taught it felt like punishment. Like I was guilty of something I didn't choose." Want to explain the difference between individual guilt and systemic responsibility, but for once, force myself to just listen. "I think maybe we can try talking again, but things have to be different." "Different how?" "You have to let me be who I am, instead of trying to make me into who you think I should be." The request seems reasonable in principle, but terrifying in practice. What if who he is naturally perpetuates the systems I've spent my life fighting? "I can try, sweetheart. I want our relationship back." "Okay, maybe I can come home for a weekend sometime this spring." The maybe hangs there full of conditions and uncertainty, but it's more hope than I've had in months. We talk for 20 more minutes about school and weather and safe topics. When we hang up, realize I've been holding my breath for most of the conversation. Maya is excited when I tell her about the call, starts planning what meals to cook when he visits, what activities we might do, but I'm terrified of messing this up again. How do you unlearn a lifetime of seeing the world a certain way? How do you love someone without trying to improve them? March arrives and Caleb follows through, comes home for one weekend. Conversation is stilted and careful, both of us avoiding anything controversial. He tells stories about his classes and friends. I share updates about work and Maya's college experience. Feels artificial, but peaceful, like we're both performing a version of family. When he leaves Sunday evening, hugs me goodbye. First physical affection we've shared in almost 2 years. "This was good, Mom. Thank you for not, Nod like I understand, but privately wondering how long I can maintain this careful distance from my own beliefs. How long can I bite my tongue when he mentions things that trigger my consciousness about inequality? Lying in bed that night, realized that getting my son back might mean giving up the mother I thought I was supposed to be. Might mean accepting that love sometimes requires letting go of the need to be right. Might mean admitting that my academic understanding of oppression doesn't automatically translate into effective parenting. For the first time in years, not sure which choice would be the greater failure. The son who's learned to distrust his mother's love, or the mother who's learned to question everything she thought she knew about raising conscious children. Either way, the cost of certainty has been higher than I ever imagined it could be.